Hi everyone, this is Mark Siegel, and in this video I'm going to show you how to grade your quizzes, your forms, using a script called Flubaroo. So in the previous video I had created a form, and this is some of my students' data that was collected. So, I posted the form, I can send the form, I can do anything I want to it, emailed out the form to my students, and this is what they came back with for their answers. So what I want to do is I want to grade this now without having to look down each one. Now, I only have 5 students listed, so it's not that big of a deal if I only had 5, but if I was doing this for 150 students, I wouldn't want to have to go through all of these questions by hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to Tools, and you're going to go to Script Gallery. Now, if yours has updated, and your tools will now say add-ons instead of scripts. So I'm going to come to search, and I'm going to type in Flubaroo, F-L-U-B-A-R-O-O. And I'm going to click search. And I'm going to see that Flubaroo pops up here, and I'm going to click install. And of course, it needs authorization to run, so you say OK, and this little pop-up window will pop up. You scroll down, you say, yes, that's okay. Go ahead and run Flubaroo. And you only have to do this once. After this, Flubaroo always will run. And you click close. And you'll see that now along the top, it now says Flubaroo. So now let's click Flubaroo and get started with our grading. And I want to grade the assignment. Okay, so what it does is it actually looks at your form and it says, okay, what information is on that form? Well, there's a name which identifies the student, there's an email which identifies the student, and then there are questions. So I'm going to say that each of my questions is worth 1 point all the way down. If you want to make your quiz worth more than that, obviously you can tell, you can take it 2, 3, 4, 5 points, it doesn't matter. Or you can put in a question that you completely skip. Like let's say you gave the form out and you realize that question 11 was a really bad question. The kids answered it, but you shouldn't have put it on there. Just skip it when it comes to the grading, and then it won't factor into the actual grade. Okay, so this is how I wanted to do. So this will be a 3-point quiz with 2 questions identifying the students, and I'm going to click continue. Now, remember what I told you about your form. The first thing you should do is always take your own form. So I did, and I know that that first one has all the correct answers. Now, if you haven't taken your form yet, you got to create the answer key, as always, before you start grading. So you want to go back to your form, take your form, and answer all the questions correctly, and then it will pop up in here. So when you get to step 2 and it asks you which is the correct answer, you can tell it which one. So mine was the first one, and it's going to grade it. Now it's grading my assignment based on the answer key that I just told it. Now, I want to view the grades. Now, when you only have 3 or 4 students, it goes really, really fast. But when you have 150 students, this might take like a minute or 2 to pound through them. Now, what I love about Flubaroo is any student that scores below a 70% automatically gets highlighted. So obviously I have 3 questions. It's really easy to score below 70%, even with 1 question wrong. So, but I did that on purpose so that you can see what's going on. So anything that is in red automatically is someone who scored below 70%. So you can see, and it just alternates colors, yellow, white, yellow, white. Anyone who passed it will be in black. So I can see immediately just by scrolling down that Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, and Harrison Ford all failed or did below a 70% on the assignment. If I want to know how they did, I can scroll over to the questions. And the questions here are highlighted based on how poorly or how well someone did. So if a question was very successful, if the students were very successful in the question, it will not be in orange. It will be white with black writing. But you can see, as I can scroll through, that 25% of the students got this question correct, got question 1 correct. 50% of the students got question 2 correct, and 50% of the students got question 3 correct. So very, very quickly, you can see how valid a question is. Now, they give you the average information, so it says number of submissions, 4, number of low-scoring questions, 3. So it'll tell you how many questions scored below 70%. They can tell you how many points and what the average score is. So it gives you all of that statistical information, and it never changed the original assignment. So, a student, you get this all the time, a student finishes the assignment and says, oh my God, Mr. Siegel, I accidentally clicked 1 for question 1, but I really wanted it to be 2. Can I change it? Yeah, sure. They can go back and submit the assignment again, and it'll pop up again. And it'll just pop up as a secondary assignment. So you can actually let the students submit the grade more than once if you really want to. You don't have to. You can limit it to one submission per person under the form options. So now you also notice that I never emailed any grades. So I can actually set this up to email grades. So if I go to Flubaroo and I click email, I can see regrade assignment. So if a student took it later than everyone else and I need to regrade it, no problem. I just click regrade the assignment and I go through the steps again. If I want to email out the grades, I just click email. I can include a message. And if I want to, I can include information about the quiz. So I can include the questions and what they got on the question, and I can include an answer key so that the students can see, like, okay, I got this wrong, but why did I get this wrong? This is great for self-checks. So you can put this at the end of a day and say, please take the self-check assignment and post it. Now I'm going to click continue. And it's running through, and it's sending email. Boom, 4 grades were successfully emailed, and I can see X, 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 X. So all those people received emails from me, Harrison Ford included, from emails with the answer key and everything that they needed to check themselves on the assignment. If I don't want the students to have the answers, but they want the questions, well, I just uncheck those boxes. And I just say, this is what your grade is, boom, uncheck, and they can get their actual grade. And this is all done at one time. So the only thing that I want to caution you about Flubaroo is, if you decide to email, email only once. So if you have students who are taking it at different times, you can grade it anytime you want to with Flubaroo, but don't email the assignment until every single student of that particular section or that day or whatever it is takes it, because every time you click email, it will re-email every single person on the list. And that's Flubaroo. It's very simple to use, and it's a great way to keep your classroom paperless and grade the assignments for you.